Hi guys, so let's now check out comparative advantage and the major analysis points that we can derive from that lesson we've just looked at. First up, it's a biggie, this one as well. Comparative advantage highlights the gains from trade that can really be enjoyed. We saw how the countries were able to actually engage in trade and thereby increase the production possibility curve for those countries, enjoying increased consumption of wine and cloth, of course, in the example we looked at. There was a gain in efficiency clearly taking place there, okay? And that is efficiency between those countries, and potentially that is global efficiency as well, if every country around the world is actually specializing at what they can do at lowest opportunity cost. Right, next up, it can also highlight the inefficiencies within protectionism and isolationism, really, and trying to do everything yourself. It's going to mean that your PPF, your PPC, doesn't extend out as far as it possibly could, because you're not enjoying the benefits of specialization and actually trading with other countries. Now, our third point is the fact that actually there are other factors that do promote trade. So, for instance, while New Zealand may be very good at producing lots of lamb, the transportation costs may be highly significant and may mean that the actual price competitiveness of their products is nowhere near good enough for the European market, perhaps, okay? So there's other factors. What other factors have we got? Well, we've got political factors as well. So there's the transportation costs, there's the geographical factors, which we'll look at in a moment, and of course there's those political factors which really can bear significance as to whether countries want to trade with one another. Just look at Cuba and America as an example there. Of course, they typically haven't wanted to engage in trade because of their political differences. Number 4, do free trade areas promote trade creation or trade diversion? So that is, do free trade areas such as the EU, such as NAFTA, such as ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, do they help to actually generate more efficient trade, and that is trade creation? Or do they actually contribute to less efficient trade, which is really highlighted via trade diversion? Now, it's worth noting that when it comes to the European Union, 40% of UK exports go to the EU, but 54% of UK's imports actually come from the EU. So, some interesting points regarding this. Now, partly that's to do with our geographical location, but it is, of course, really relevant when it comes to the fact that they are in a free trade area currently. Of course, I'm speaking prior to Brexit, whatever happens there. Number 5, the impact of globalization. Now, what impact has globalization had? What impact will it continue to have? Has it increased or decreased the role and relevance of comparative advantage in today's world? Some certainly argue that comparative advantage today is more important than it's ever been, that countries should focus upon doing what they can do at lowest opportunity costs, but others say no, it's far less relevant, and the assumptions just clearly too simplistic for today's complex world. We'll move on and have a look at the evaluative points in our next lesson. Great stuff, guys. See you then.